The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization. We never support or oppose any political party or candidate. Our mission is empowering voters, defending democracy. And if you're not already a member and might be interested in becoming one, then go to our website, lwvcolin.org. There's a little red button at the top that says join. You're welcome to do that. And we will be happy to have men and women join our organization. So 2020 is going to be a big year for us. The League of Women Voters will turn 100 years old, and it will also be 100 years since the 19th Amendment was passed, which women gained the right to vote. So we plan to celebrate, and we hope that you will celebrate with us. We're going to have a centennial luncheon. It will be on Saturday, March 28th. And it will be at the Stonebridge Ranch Country Club in McKinney. It's from 11 to 1:30. And if you're interested in finding out more information about that, go to our website, lwvcolin.org, and right at the top there's a tab that says Centennial Luncheon. And we hope to see all of you there. Another thing that you may have noticed coming up is that a primary election will be held on March 3rd. You may have already noticed the campaigning has begun. So we would like to help inform voters about the candidates. We will have a candidate forum on Saturday, January 25th. It will be at Collin College in Plano. And the exact sessions and times will be advertised closer to the event. And it will be on our website, lwvcolin.org. It will also be in our newsletter. So if you don't already get our newsletter and you would like to, then go to our website, lwvcolin.org. At the top, there's a blue button that says e-news. If you click that, then you're welcome to sign up for our newsletter, and that is approximately once a month. Another important thing coming up in 2020 is the census. And that is required by law every 10 years that all of us be counted. And Mary Alice Garza is going to come up and tell you a little bit about the census as well as an overview of what we will be discussing here tonight.
Thanks, Ruth, and again, welcome to everyone. The League of Women Voters believes the census is so important that we've committed that before every meeting we have, we will say something about the census. The census is important because it will allocate congressional representatives to the Congress. The numbers are used to allocate funds for transportation, for schools, for health care, multiple things. It's very important that each person be counted. And I just wanted to give you a little overview. Starting in March, early in March, the Census Department will start mailing the notices to you, but you will not fill it on paper. You'll be given an identifier number, and you go online and you fill it out for the household. One number per household. Everybody in the household registers under that one number. If you don't submit at that time, you'll get another letter, and if you don't, then somebody will come knocking at your door. So if you're able to do it, encourage your neighbors, encourage your friends to participate in the census. It's very important. The City of Plano has a Census 2020 Count Committee, and we have some little brief bits of information here. They're back there on the table. If you're interested, please take one. So you can see some of it's in English and Spanish. So if you know people, and everybody is to be counted. There is no citizenship question. So those people who have been fearful about that, that question is not included. So again, please respond to that. Now to our business for this evening. The League of Women Voters does studies. And we did a study a few years ago on homelessness, and we took a position on homelessness. And one of the statements in that position is that we thought there should be affordable housing in order to prevent homelessness. So this year, we decided we would have an informational forum to see what is available as far as affordable housing in Collin County. So we have recruited some experts to talk about it. But to introduce the county to us. We have Mike Bell, who is a comprehensive planning manager at the city of Plano. He's responsible for administering long-range plans, demographic results, and so on with the city. He's liaison to the city's Heritage Commission, and he coordinates the Census 2020 committee, so if you have any more questions, you can ask him afterwards. He's also on the North Central Texas American Planning Association, an officer with that organization. So first he will give us a little demographic information. Mike?
All right. Thank you, Mary Alice. Again, I just want to preface by saying I'm not a housing affordability expert. I am a traditional land use and demographics guy. So I've been asked to come here to introduce demographics for the county, which is what I plan to do. Most of y'all who live here this is going to seem very familiar to you. We've all felt the growth, especially the DFW region. But with that, I'll go ahead and get started. Let's start with a brief, growth is not new to this area, but this is a photo, I think, of McKinney in about 1867-ish, something like that. And at that time, Texas was a new state, and the population wasn't that great. But the population of the county was about 2,000, and then the population of the entire state was about 212,000. So to put that in perspective, that's just a little bit more than the population of McKinney today. So not a lot of people in Texas at the time. Flash forward 100 years, the county changes with the coming of the trains. The cities start relocating along the rail lines. This is actually the Cotton Belt line in Plano. And you see the population boom. So in 50 years, from 2,000 to 50,000 people. At the time, that's probably felt like a lot of change. And Texas increases to about 3 million people. Does anybody know what that is in the picture? Central Expressway. So if you look at the picture here, this is actually Plano. This is Central Expressway looking north in about 1956 or 58. You can see this little bridge here is Plano Parkway. So, yeah, not that long ago, really. What you see is the county population actually shrank during that time. So it actually dropped from about 50,000 to 41,000. Meanwhile, the state's population had tripled. But as we all know, with the coming of Central Expressway, the floodgates were about to open in Collin County. So flash forward to today. Now Collin County is full of homes. Our population in the county reached 1 million last year. So quite a bit of growth, 24 times since 1960. Meanwhile, the state tripled in population to about 28.7 million. So again, we've all felt that growth for the last several decades. And that leads us to where we are today. So where does that put us into the future? Where do we project it to grow as? So again, I mentioned we're about 1 million people. The populations of the biggest cities in Collin County, Plano's about 287, McKinney 191, Frisco 188, Allen 103,000. So flash forward 20 or 30 years. Sorry, wrong way. We're going to double, about 1.8 to 2.4 million, depending on who you ask. That's a lot of people coming in the next 20 years. And if you look at the estimates for the big cities, 310,000 for Plano, 238 for McKinney, 297 for Frisco, and Allen, 115,000. Those are kind of the built-up estimates. That may seem like a lot, but that's really only 190,000 or so people. That doesn't make up a big chunk of that extra million that's going to come here. So again, where's that all going to go? This map may be a little hard to see. Here's kind of Plano area right there. And you can see all the growth up here along number 380, ton of growth, kind of east of Lake Lavon for the county. So where we have all the population today is not where it's all going to go in the next 30 years. So we're going to have to do a lot of planning, a lot of road infrastructure, housing, schools. That's going to be a lot of planning going to be done in the next several decades. Now, let's kind of break down this, who are the people that live here. So age-wise, this may be a little difficult to see, but the older ages are on the top, and the younger ages on the bottom. And so generally, the median age in Collin County is 37.2. So half people are older than 37, half people are younger than 37.2, which is slightly older than the state, but these numbers keep increasing. So overall, the whole area is getting older. And again, this is Plano specific. I don't have the projections for the whole county. But the Plano right now is about 15-16% seniors. In the next 20 years, it's going to be about 30% seniors if you forecast out. So that is quite a growth in the senior population. So what does that have to say about housing affordability? People are staying in their homes longer. If they need other options, we're going to have a huge housing dilemma as we not only grow in population, but grow in age. In terms of race and ethnicity, so the Collin County is in the blue lines, and then the state is next, and then the nation. And you can see we're about along the averages of the nation. I think the one that really stands out is the Asian population. So about 19% of the population of Plano is Asian. It's the second largest demographic group, and also the fastest growing. And also 1 in 5 county residents were born outside of the United States. Now in Plano, that's 1 in 4 and approaching 1 in 3. So we're seeing a lot of folks come in from out of the country, mostly from Asia. You'll see also Latin America is about 30%, and then Europe, Oceania, and Canada and Africa make up the rest. So again, a lot of foreign folks moving in, and that means again more housing options, but also language issues and things like that that we're all going to have to plan for. We take a look at household income. So the top line is over 150,000, which is the biggest segment of the county. So you can see about 27% of the household income is over 150,000. So that's the whole household over 150. So in general, I think we all know Collin County is a little more affluent than most of the area. And you can see it kind of goes down from there. But when you take a look at household income, the median income, over the last 8 years, it's really only gone up about $6,000 or $7,000 a year. So again, we're not seeing a huge growth in household income. You take a look at poverty. So Collin County, again, we're a more affluent county. So it's only 6.7% compared to about 15% for the state and 13% for the country. You can't see the number there, but it's 66,000 people. So that's still quite a large amount of people, especially when you consider a large number of those are also children. So again, as we talk about housing affordability, keep these numbers in mind. And then housing value itself. So this is the prices of homes. And about 44% of the homes in Collin County, they're between $300,000 and $500,000. We're seeing kind of as housing prices rise, we'll get a larger number into this category. This is the over 500 and over $1 million. And then another good section is the 200 to 299,000. So to give you an idea of what the housing prices are in the area. This might be a little hard to see, but this is actually the map. I've mapped out the housing values across the county. So the darker the color is the higher the housing value. The highest is kind of this is actually, that dark red right there is the northwest corner of the Tollway and 121. So kind of South Frisco area. And then the lowest tract with median housing value is in the East McKinney area at about 87,700. So that gives you kind of the idea of the range of housing values across the county. And this is actually the regions. This is all the major counties in the DFW area. And I'll actually come over here and show you because this clicker's going to be a little weird. But this is, as you can see, this is the tollway. So all the dark lines, and it's not, again, not a surprise. The highest values tend to be in the park cities, and then up the tollway in South Lake. Just to give you an idea regionally where those are at. And then this is the slide I kind of want to drive home. This is what I'm going to wrap up on. But this is comparing the median household income to the housing value. So as we talk about housing affordability, you're seeing housing prices just rise and rise and rise, and incomes are just barely crawling. So again, I'm not an expert, but my 2 cents on the housing affordability issue is it's traditionally seen as a low income issue, but it's really becoming more of a moderate income issue. You know, folks, both me and my wife, we're both in the public sector, we're both a teacher. You know, we can't afford a house in the area either. You know, so it's becoming more and more of an issue. And so the median household increase is about 20%. The housing value is over 57.5%. You know, those are just numbers. I didn't do it in annual growth, but you can just tell from the bars. You know, clearly we've got a gap. It's just increasing. And with that, I didn't know Mary Alice was going to pitch it, so I was going to plug it anyway. Census 2020, it's safe, it's easy, it's important. Again, mid-March, please tell your friends the impact of the census is going to be be successful if groups like this get out and inform their neighbors and get people to come out of town. Texas doesn't get the representatives, California will, so let's keep them here in Texas. With that, thank you very much.